A wedding ceremony, regardless of its scale, does not ensure a legally binding union. Under English law, every marriage relies on underlying legal prerequisites. These rest on three pillars: formalities, consent, and capacity. Capacity is the legal fitness of individuals at the ceremony. If compromised, the legal structure fails. This includes an absolute rule: a person cannot legally marry if already in a subsisting marriage or civil partnership. Any prior union must be formally and legally terminated through one of three pathways: death, divorce, or a decree of nullity. Violating this requirement creates a void marriage. Bigamy is a defect that prevents the relationship from ever achieving legal validity. This classification matters because it initiates a specific set of procedural rules and financial remedies. For a family law practitioner, identifying a void marriage completely alters the direction of the case. To navigate these cases, we must look to the parliamentary statutes governing the dissolution of adult relationships. Section 11 of the Matrimonial Causes Act 1973 provides the statutory baseline for opposite-sex and same-sex marriages. Section 49 of the Civil Partnership Act 2004 serves as the parallel equivalent for civil partnerships. These statutes impose strict liability. If either party is already married, the subsequent union is void, regardless of what the parties believed at the time. The concept of domicile, where a person has their permanent home, introduces a significant complication for marriages celebrated overseas. Under Section 11D, a polygamous marriage is void in England and Wales if either party is domiciled there, even if legal were celebrated. The law describes these relationships as void ab initio, meaning they are considered never to have existed as valid marriages from the very beginning. The statutory architecture is objective. It ignores emotional intent in favor of the strict geographical and chronological facts of a person's legal status. In a courtroom, these chronological facts are tested through the evidentiary burden. The procedural burden is on the person alleging the marriage is void on the balance of probabilities. In Wicken v. Wicken, a bigamy claim was defeated. The respondent produced hard documentary evidence their prior marriage was legally dissolved before the new ceremony. Because the documentation was verified, the bigamy claim sailed and the marriage remained valid. Padero-Murnagh v. Murnagh provides the opposite result. In this case, the wife failed to satisfy the court her first marriage in the Philippines was legally dissolved. Without proof of a prior divorce, the court granted the husband a decree of nullity based on bigamy. These cases demonstrate that verbal assurances are insufficient. Exhaustive documentary evidence of prior dissolutions is the only defense against a bigamy claim. This creates a paradox. If a bigamous marriage is void from the beginning and never legally existed, why must parties petition a family court for a formal order? A formal nullity decree is required to definitively clarify the parties' legal status on the public record. Beyond the record, the decree is vital for financial remedies. We must distinguish between a void marriage and a non-marriage. A non-marriage is a union so flawed it doesn't qualify as void, like an unrecognized religious ceremony with no civil compliance. In a non-marriage, the court lacks jurisdiction, preventing any application for financial or property remedies. A void marriage, like one involving bigamy, meets the criteria for the court to intervene. This allows parties to obtain a nullity decree. This decree enables the court to divide assets and order financial support under the 1973 or 2004 Acts and ensures the legal legitimacy of any children born to the couple. The void classification serves as a necessary legal fiction. It acknowledges the marriage was invalid while retaining the court's jurisdiction to ensure a fair financial entangling of the parties' lives. For a practitioner, these concepts form the macro perspective required to advise a client through a complex breakdown. The legal pathway is clear. A lack of capacity leads to void status, which permits a nullity decree, providing the basis for financial orders. This creates an investigative duty for the lawyer to verify the dissolution of any prior marriages before advising on financial remedies. The danger of misclassification is high. Confusing a void marriage with a non-marriage can lead to a total loss of financial leverage for a client. The absolute bar of a prior marriage serves as the structural foundation for the subsequent legal strategy. Understanding capacity and the paradox of the void marriage is what allows a practitioner to move beyond theory and provide effective, protective legal advice.